We moved in April, and it wasn't until about 6 months later when we needed to have heat that we started realizing the heating system didn't work.
You have problems here. When I see that return at the front of the house, you might as well take a return pipe and stick it outside.
I have a warranty, and you've said it was a warranted issue, and there's a problem, and we're pointing out, we're proving to you there's a problem. You're saying the onus is on us. We're proved it's a problem. What else do you want from us?
More holes, more damage, more holes, more damage, more holes, more damage.
Every government, every system that's in place to help a homeowner has failed us.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, baby.
But if you're going to do it right the first time.
Let's get rid of it.
You do this to a family. Look at the nest. They got a nest of them. Unbelievable. On the money.
T3.
My hero!
Perfect.
Thank you, guys.
You like it?
Oh, do I ever?
Christine and Richard have had this dream home that they've worked on for an awful long time till it became a reality about 7 years ago.
Yeah, we were pretty pumped. We were looking for a perfect house, and we wanted to design a little bit of ourselves, and we wanted a builder that would do a beautiful job for us, and we ended up with a 6-year nightmare instead.
Hello.
Hi, Mike.
Christine.
Glad
Richard.
to see you.
Oh, pleased to see you.
Pleased to see you. What a nice house.
Thank you.
I have to say that.
Don't be deceived by the outside. When we looked at the plans from the builder, we asked him, can we make changes? And he was very receptive to that idea and thought it would be fantastic that, he was excited. Obviously, he's going to make money from that. So he said, sure, what do you want to do?
You've got a great design here. I heard you made some changes, added some windows. Did you make it bigger?
We said, well, we want to move this wall. We want to add more windows. We want, can we make the ceiling smooth? Can we open the staircase? Can we, and he was like, perfect, sure, go ahead.
We have a problem not with structure, not with plumbing, not with electrical, with heating and air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fascinated by the building process. I mean, I really enjoyed watching it getting built. And I saw the heating and air conditioning system getting put in, and the builder was explaining to us that it was a new advanced system.
He was very excited because it meant that we were going to have no bulkheads. And we said, great, that means it's more open, and so that was all we knew about it till we moved in and started operating it and realized it didn't work.
Now, the system that they put in here is a high velocity,
Yes.
2-inch line, right? It's 2-inch duct line throughout the house. It's an insulated line, but it's done with hot water. So they're trying to be more energy efficient by using a hot water tank, supplying the hot water to the house, and with a forced air unit, blowing air over hot piping to heat your home.
We were experimenting ourselves to try and get this thing adjusted for most of the winter, and it was getting so cold.
And there's no moisture in the air. The humidifier doesn't work. There's one attached there, but it doesn't create moisture.
Oh, and there's an air filter inline air filter in the system too. And we've got cats that create all kinds of little hairs in the air. We've never seen a hair in their filter. We've never seen a speck of dust. We've got the same filter that we had 6 years ago. It's never got dirty. It works a little bit. You can hear it. I mean, you always hear it. It's always on.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do?
Well, we met with the builder in September 2002. He said he would look into it. He promised to come back and check the insulation in the attic, check the air conditioners, and we never saw him again. He left. So we had to write to the warranty program, and we said, look, we've got a problem. There was a few other deficiencies that were still outstanding that they hadn't fixed, and so we had what they call a conciliation meeting. So instantly the warranty program said, oh, the onus is on you to prove there's a problem. The onus was on us to prove there was a problem. Welcome to the warranty program.
And we've been proving there's a problem over and over and over again. They just won't take the evidence.
So we've spent, I couldn't even tell you, a couple days a week for the last 4 years, 3 years, whatever it's been, and numerous meetings. I have thousands of emails, thousands of them.
We have how many reports? Engineering reports and test reports? About 15 different ones.
How many boxes are sitting there?
12.
The files, boxes of files I've never seen before, documented on this, and I keep saying this, document it, take pictures. What I see,
Yes.
you have documented everything and yet still lost.
Yeah.
We've turned to the town planning office, we've turned to the manufacturer, the distributor, the builder, the local government representative. We've been everywhere.
Can I see your furnace?
Sure.
Please.
Come on. They decided at some point to put a new hot water tank in to try and fix the system, to give us more heat. Because it's a combo system, so the hot water is what supplies the heat to the system. It runs over a coil, and that makes the heat come out of the outlets. This is our new hot water tank that they installed.
Did that fit through the door?
No, they took the frame out, they took the doors off the hinges. So the original tank that was put in here only went to 140 degrees, which is domestic hot water temperature. So they thought they'd try and give us a new tank, which goes to 180 degrees. So we have a commercial-sized tank downstairs that goes to 180 degrees, and they thought they'd try that to fix the system. Well, they had to take the... Go ahead.
Didn't make a difference.
I did notice a hole here.
That's probably one of the
Test probes.
15 different tests that have ever been done in here.
Tests? So you had somebody come in and monitor the system?
Oh, yeah.
This is a monitor, this thing. This is a temperature logger that was provided by a government agency for up to us to prove empirically that the thing can't keep up.
To do this test, we set the thermostat at 24 Celsius, and it had to stay at 24 Celsius steady, so no shut down at nighttime when you go to bed, whatever, none of that. So the thermostat was left at 24 for a month.
Did you get it to 24?
Oh, no. We got 24 on one floor, and we got 14.7 in one bedroom.
That's just one of the bedrooms. There's other bedrooms and rooms as well that it was measuring, and the temperature went way below what code will allow.
Let me guess, that's over the garage.
The two bedrooms, both of them.
Surprise.
Yeah. The garage ceiling needed to be opened because there's a return valve in the garage ceiling. So the idea was to close that off, and that would create more pull for the air returns from the upper floor down to the basement.
You know what? More than likely, you could probably hire lawyers galore and sue the world, right? You can go after everyone.
Yeah.
I think bottom line, no, you should not have to. But I think bottom line, you're going to end up losing anyways. Why? You've already lost out of pocket. You've lost all the time that you put into this. How much money are you going to spend battling big people with big lawyers with big pockets?
You're taught that, if you put that effort in, eventually somebody will help you. Eventually something will change, and eventually something will happen. Nothing's ever happened.
I think what I need to do more than anything is first investigate, check out the system. Once I've opened up everything, I can see how it's been run. I don't want to knock the system, but obviously what they've done here is not working, and we'll find out why.
Why does it have to be Mike Holmes that fixes this stuff over and over again? Why can't the system get fixed? Not the HVAC system. I mean the bureaucracy and the rules and the regulations. Mm-hmm. They're all put in place to not help the homeowner. Why is it only Mike Holmes that fixes this stuff?
Mm-hmm. People start to do the math, and they figure out, wow, this is going to be how much money to fix?
The basic story is every time you add an entity that's supposed to help you, you end up creating more groups that will pass the buck amongst each other and bigger problems.
One of those days, we take up the whole street with all our vehicles. In comes the moving truck, in comes the drywall truck. Now, the idea with the drywall, not only is this a new type of drywall that we're actually going to use to fix anything we pull down, it's mold resistant, water resistant, and something different I wanted to try. So that pleases me that we have a better product, but at the same token, we're going to use it to protect all the floors. You want our help, or do you prefer to do it yourself?
We're probably better off
doing it yourself?
Doing it ourselves,
yeah.
For liability, and as well as, we're comfortable working together.
Thank you. Personally, I would like to be in extreme control of how we open this house, and that's first and foremost, move them out. Second, protect this house to the extreme. In order, let's just sweep the floor with a soft broom, make sure it's nice and clean, lay down 6mm plastic.
Okay.
We use the green tape to tape from the plastic to the baseboard at the bottom.
We'll tuck tape the seams on the plastic too, I'm taking, just to add extra protection.
The more we do it to this whole place, that means protecting all the cupboards, all the blinds, wrapping them in, all windows in place, actually taping plastic up to the inside of the jamb all the way around, closing all the windows. The more we keep this clean and comfortable, the easier it's going to be at the end of this job, rather than having to fix windows, fix anything, clean up a huge mess. Now, our measurements should be fairly the same, so we'd have two guys cutting, 2 guys laying. We should do this like clockwork. Okay. Absolute clockwork.
This home was significantly modified from the original plans. And in this home in particular, it faces west and south, and a lot of west and south windows were added. When you add west and south windows, for sure you're going to up your air conditioning load. And that was not reflected in the HVAC design. And the owner went and paid money to have the plans modified,
Right.
but nobody went back and modified the HVAC design. This system is too small from a heating point of view, from an airflow point of view, and from an air conditioning point of view. It's just too small.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You took a look at it yourself.
yes.
We came in and did some CFM tests ourselves.
Okay.
We also look at the readings that the previous guys have done. They're all over the charts.
The stuff wasn't done right in the floors and the walls. To fix that, at a certain point, you've got to take it out. I mean, in ductwork, size does matter.
Ah, that's funny. I like that. We're going to lose the ceiling in here, but first I need you to protect as much as possible. The carpet on here, move the stuff that's over there, protect everything that's over there. This whole ceiling comes down. We're going to need to open that bulkhead one way or the other. You can leave the underside because that's probably the easiest at this point. Open this side. Time to get it down. You have 3 hours.
Be done in a half hour.
Wrap it, protect it, take it down.
Take this, Mike Holmes.
So we need to drain it.
Yep.
We need to disconnect it. How do you like the plumbing?
It's
You don't do that.
It's a nice spider web, honestly.
You don't do that.
I know. I do it better.
I know you do, and I like that. Who the hell put up this door? Oh, it's okay, because the laundry room's on the second floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know doors that lead to a furnace room are at a minimum 32 inches. So they have a booster pump, that's this?
They got a booster pump to deliver or to provide more hot water into this unit, in the hopes of obviously providing more heat into the house, right? It constantly heats up that volume of water, right, to maintain the temperature. So it's there's a lot of money wasted here. A lot of money wasted.
No doubt in my mind. Let's get it out of here. I'm gonna get the guys to start opening it up, and we'll just work together.
All right.
I want you to open up the face of it so we can see.
Okay.
Open it up.
Follow the channel.
I'm gonna assume it comes across here, runs this way. Let's get our clean air system running. Let's get it ducted outside. Wherever you're cutting, I want that machine to follow you, okay?
No problem. This is the typical thing of trying to figure out what the previous guy was doing. It's always almost impossible. So we thought, first of all, it was going straight out that way, then that way. We changed it to this way, and now it's going back that way again. So it's like chasing a rabbit. You don't know which way it's gonna turn.
This is the air conditioning coil. Earlier we were in and we recovered the Freon from the unit. So we just cut the lines out, disconnected the AC coil. Now we're gonna be removing the furnace and take out some of the ductwork.
We built you a good home. Don't complain. Well, you had a reason to complain. Proof's in the pudding. It's not working the way it's supposed to.
No, we're gonna hurt ourselves.
Okay.
There we go.
It's almost halfway through. Okay.
Thank you.
Coffee break? I want to bring you in to show you what we've done, what we've damaged.
What's the furnace room?
This is different.
We did take the framing out to take out the humongous hot water tank heater thing that they put over there. So we pulled all this out. We found leaks on the line, and as it went up, we did the same tests, and we found within the whole house a wide variety of airflow per vent or per outlet. We do know why your air conditioner went, because it's a 3-ton unit. They put in a 5-ton cooling coil, which is an absolute no, and that just really smothered your air conditioner and burnt it out. Oh, we pulled all this down, right? We're tracking everywhere, and we know that we're looking for the trunks, we're looking for the return, we're looking for what they did to come back to fix it and what they originally ran. More holes, more damage, more holes, more damage, more holes, more damage.
We never finished the house entirely. We painted and stuff, but in the back of my mind, I always knew that this was going to have to happen to get it fixed.
I've opened up this area. Who picked the manufactured floor joist? Was that you? Builder. Okay. Another plus to the builder. The builder had everything I'm looking at, I'm going better. It's plywood floors, it's not even OSB. So whoever this builder is, I like him. Yeah. But let me tell you why your system is failing. Let's go into the garage. Within your ceiling, we have a cold air return hard duct here, and we have a cold air return right in the corner.
That goes down by the front door.
That's the damper.
Okay.
First and foremost, we do not want to put in an air return in your garage. We do not want to put in hot air. If they put in hot air, they have to pull it out again, right? Why do they do this? Because the #1 complaint in all the brand new homes on the market today is my room above the garage is freezing.
Right.
Here's the ceiling that's brought down below your floor joist up there. So we have approximately a 2-foot void. Yeah. That's the coldest zone of your home right there. That air return is pulling freezing cold air in. Now, minimum code says that's incorrect, Mr. Holmes, because we put in 2 hot lines. Do you think those 2 lines are gonna heat this up? When that is the coldest, and I'll show you, underneath that beam, where your roof ties in over like this, that's not protected. They actually insulated down to the beam and then tried to insulate on the other side. There's no vapor barrier there. So that return is now, you might as well put a return pipe outside in the middle of winter pulling in cold air.
After opening the walls 6 times, I guess they've straightened a few of the problems out, but they never really addressed the whole problem.
I see enough that says, I know why this isn't working. Thermal break that room over the garage. Think of a cooler. That room will now become the same temperature as the rest of the houses. Introduce a better system on such a big, elaborate home, and it's not that big, but it's big enough in open space concept that we need to control the floors differently. Balancing. Let's say we put a thermostat on every floor of your house, and it gives demand to that area as to what it wants.
Wow.
Heat or cold. That's what we're putting in.
There's millions of dollars of problems being created every damn month. They're making more of these things like this. It's like, why can't they just get it right the first time?
When I'm done, you'll be comfortable, it'll be clean again, we'll move you back in.
Excellent.
Great.
This is simple, and amazing how many people found it.
And then to mash up such a really nice house just for one little tiny mistake.
Yeah.
And to mash up our lives for 6 years because they couldn't figure it out. Ay, ay, ay.
They used some duct tape here, nice. Stuff's for patching your shoes. It's actually not for dust. You'd at least want to use the silver stuff anyway. This stuff just dries up and peels right off.
But they just cut this and added one in? Why the hell did they cut that?
Who knows? They probably couldn't get to it, they made a mistake, whatever.
There's heat loss. Everything I'm seeing, I'm starting to see heat loss everywhere.
But they didn't seal it, they just left it like that. They figured the insulation would hide it, nobody sees nothing.
We did.
We installed our saddles off the pipe. You know, you may notice some of them are 3-inch or 4-inch, and they're at a 45 degree, compared to the older system where they were using a T. This way we're gonna get better airflow through these 45 saddles. We're going with the direction of the airflow. And the reason why we're running some 3s and some 4s is on the old system, they were using a 2-inch pipe. And in some bedrooms, they had 3 vent outlets. We're actually bringing that down to only 2 vent outlets by using a 4-inch. So for every 2 of their 2-inch, we can run 1 4-inch and have the same amount of airflow. And our style will be a 4x10, so it'll basically look like a forced air system. not the small little grills that they normally use in the high velocity systems. As you can see on this run here, it's a shorter distance, meaning from this takeoff to the boot. What we're doing is we're putting an S-curve in the flex pipe because we want to control the amount of air that's going to this floor register. The ones on the other side, because they're such a long distance, they're about a 20-foot piece of flex, we can just cut them off and connect them right to the saddle. So because we're closer, you know, you'll put an extra length of flex on, probably 6 feet, 7 feet, and that will slow it down once you put that S into it.
We're all the elves working together.
You take a look at all this ductwork. Kind of big, isn't it? That's a 12-inch run. We're making better airflow. The design of it really restricted me on how we could run it. I have structure here. I have 3 beams that carry load right across up the upper part of the house. These 3 right here. Problem being is, when they installed the other system, which I'll show you from the garage, they had cut out structure which affected 2 of them to run their ductwork in the wall. Here we are on the other side. Those 3 vertical beams that I talked about, 1, 2, 3, they carry that structure load that's on the top. Now, it would have been okay as long as this rim joist on the outside carried that load. This is the weight load right here, brought down on a simple rim board that's been all cut out, hoping to be carried by the 1 floor joist. Because they cut this out, we don't have any structure here. We have 1 manufactured floor joist, which will carry 1 of these studs. This is not displaced enough to carry that load. Anyone looks at that and they're gonna, especially building inspectors, and they're gonna actually have a fit. This is the single beam right now that's holding the structure. They put in a 2x6 as a tiny squash block, and a squash block is to carry structure load from point A to point B, which is the foundation wall and the top of the floor. Point load of structure goes down to foundation, or a steel post or a steel beam, point loads. As it's carried from the footings to the foundation to structure load that goes up and carries the 2nd floor on a beam, that carried the 2nd floor, that big staircase opening that you saw, the vaulting in the front entrance, that's what it's carrying is the floor. If they tamper with structure and they didn't carry all 3 point loads right down to structure, we're now asking the structure to be held up by 1. We can just do vertical 2x4s on this side, vertical 2x4s on this side, and help carry that load from here down. Now, pot lights is a major issue here. Obviously, I'm going to be doing repairs to the bulkhead and creating a new bulkhead. This one is definitely in my way. This one, we got to move the smoke detector, and you know what's the smartest on the smoke detector? Is it out this way? This is being bulked down across.
Smoke likes to rise along walls, so I like keeping it closer to a wall if I can.
All right.
Rather than trying to make it look pleasing to the eye.
Okay, so you can pick anywhere in there. We'll get it framed. You bring it down. Here's the real mess. I have to. This is what we get for ripping a house apart, pulling out the old system and putting in a new one. It changes the whole design of the house.
Oh yeah. I'm not leaving them like that. It's not. No box. Every electrical connection must be in a box. So that's lost. That's lost. These are those do-it-yourself kits you get from the big box stores. Not to be saved. Garbage.
Do you have to take it out now? Welcome to my world.
Oh, thank you. I thought I was going to be here for like an hour or so. Thank you for ruining my day.
So we have a
standard minimum code bay where we had all the lines. They have plastic right against the wood, and then bad insulation on plastic again, so I'm a little,
We'll take the poly down, just so we got good adhesion to the wall, no air spaces, and then we'll just spray that.
Okay.
Put our 20 in there.
Okay, fabulous. So then I'll just put in some bad insulation on the other side and not worry about a vapor barrier. But then again, we're not being a continuous on the vapor, right?
Oh, we can spray the inside as well. Run through both sides.
Actually, that's not gonna hurt. I don't, since we're open, why not? So they had the air insulation here, the vapor barrier, and did not continue that flow up there. So we're gonna need to butter that area right up.
Okay, we'll do that.
So we have another zone here, and I think what we'll do is just leave the vapor barrier there and fill that zone.
Okay.
So just go ahead, hit it. I'll drywall it in. What I care about is
Up there. So basically, if it's up there, just spray the underside of the floor. We'll spray foam the ductwork.
Okay, so you're not gonna try and do a bat wrap and spray that and keep it on the warm side, you're just gonna spray independent?
I'm gonna spray it independent. It's dropped too far down.
Okay, we spray it, we keep it warm, it doesn't matter.
For sure. Same with the cold air return. You gotta insulate. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, it's colder air, but you don't want it freezing cold.
Their cold air return was at the front of the house.
Yeah, good software, eh?
Yeah, it was pulling all, you might as well just run it right outside, right? And run it over the furnace and try and blow hot air.
Oh man, sometimes I wonder.
Right there.
There's two of them in this room.
We have two in this room. They have a junction on the gas line, correct?
Yep.
And we are not allowed a junction on a gas line. Logic tells me that that's a possible area for it to leak into the house that creates a bomb.
Yeah.
Katie is just finishing the sound insulation because one thing I loved that the homeowners did was they did all their own soundproofing.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get this back up again. We went new because the crap that came down, unfortunately, is dirty and broke up in pieces. So if you can do me a favor, we cut this nice and square for you, drywall this, get it ready for plaster. Monday, I have you guys back with Saul. He's gonna start the plastering to whatever you drywalled. So if this is done, the garage is done, boom. The reason it's blue, it's a new product. It's not water resistant drywall, it's water resistant and mold resistant. Very good, guys. Are we trying to vault back up here?
No, I'm tying back in. We're gonna actually come across now.
I like the way you think.
Yeah.
All right then.
Doesn't make much sense in this one area, right?
No.
We're gonna keep filling this in here. Like I have another plate coming down here because
Okay.
it's more than a 2-foot span, so I have to add these everywhere.
Okay, and you're working in conjunction with the bros because we know that they have to continue to run their boots.
I do see where their boots are, Mike, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add framing to it after.
All right, I think he's gonna be very happy.
Yeah.
Because I think the idea is to come down in between the two windows so it fires off on both angles.
Yep.
This one is gonna come down in this area.
Yep.
Covering this window, the door, awesome. Good. That's what I want to see. Structure. Just lots of structure.
Careful, Adam built that one, eh? We're not.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Chris,
Hey, Mike.
I thought I called you in for an easy one. What the hell's going on here?
It's never easy, is it?
It doesn't look it now.
No. Even though it's one little hole, you can see this piece of wood runs the whole length, so it has to come out. And then the adjacent one also has to come out because we're cutting into here.
Right.
And because it's against the wall, there's no way you can rip these ones out without ripping these ones out.
How about the other side? More simple?
The other side's a bit easier. It's just one piece that we have to cut out. And hopefully, it's over a little bit of a hump. So what I'm hoping is just to cut it out at one equal size and just glue it back into place.
And you'll just cut the bottom lip of the groove off, right?
And then you glue it all the way around.
Right.
Down to the bottom, and it should,
I have no issues with that.
the tension holds it in place until the glue dries.
Okay.
And we're using a floating floor adhesive that doesn't become like rock hard. It's pliable after it's.
So it's flexible.
Yeah.
Interesting. That looks a little different.
It's just because you have so much sunlight here, you have the UV rays.
That's natural for it, the yellow?
Natural, that's the actual the finish, it's not the actual wood that does that.
It's the finish.
It's the finish, yeah.
Okay, I accept.
Perfectly normal.
This is what's called a 3-zone system, air handler. You can see the zones that are written here, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. As you see on the pipes, 1, 2, 3. Basically what's happening is if they're calling for zone 1, okay? They want to have basically more heat coming out of this zone here. These 2 dampers will close up automatically and throw more heat into this zone. Okay, back down. Yeah, it's the first one of the day. There's a lot of prepping involved. Takes time, you know, we have to insulate, seal it, make sure it's airtight. But we got one done. Hopefully we'll get them all done today, so we can tie in the rest of the system, so we can move on to our next job.
Every time I go somewhere, it's not just one thing, it's 100 things. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. The homeowner was curious. She came in yesterday and she was like, oh my God, can't you get more height out of this? Okay. Can I get more height out of this? Come here. Look at this. These pipes come out of that wall. We are tight. We have designed this to be right to it with insulation. This wasn't easy. Build it all with the other return and make sure that we have all the proper supplies and return air system. So all we end up getting on this side is this one little area. Now, do I vault this up? Do I try and make some sort of look here? It's not gonna look right. It is what it is. It's gonna look good, that I know. It's gonna be fine. It's the world of contracting and dealing with homeowners that are a little more particular than others. And I don't wanna knock them because I want them to be particular, but they also must be educated. You can't have your cake and eat it too. That's the problem. You can't. What a unique system, look at this.
Yeah. It performs 2 functions for us. It's a closed loop boiler heating system as well as on-demand.
And it separates it, it's not together. It separates, it
yes.
fires different temperature for the furnace as well as separate temperature for the, well, I don't want to say the holding tank, but for the domestic.
For the domestic water supply.
This is just the big extra that gives extra for the big tubs and the big taps that people have nowadays.
By installing this, we're simply going over the minimum code. We pretty much want to be on the safe side and you know, just like we always do.
The better the drywall job is, the better the taping job will be. Miracles are hard to make, right? I mean, I've seen a lot of drywall jobs that are terrible, and then, you know, it takes a long time to fix them. So I'm always looking forward for a nice drywall job. And this guy's a donkey, very, very good. So it's gonna be a lot easier for me to finish it.
We use a brazing rod on this copper for refrigeration. Because you got higher pressures in this copper line than in a water line, this is just gonna give you like a stronger hold.
We have a vent scar in the old carpet. So what we've done is we've put a wood plug in, put a new pad in. We're gonna cut a new square piece of carpet and put her in. Sometimes you're gonna see the piece just from the wear of the carpet and from the sun bleaching it out a bit. So there are pros and cons to everything, but it saves you a lot of money. You don't have a complete job to replace. I'm just making sure that the pile direction's going the same way. It will actually look like a different colored carpet if it's not going in the same direction. So we cut a piece of seaming tape big enough to go up underneath. The iron's probably about 600-700 degrees right now. Melt the tape. that's it done.
Ideally, we would have an extension ladder, probably a 28 footer, and we could extend it to the top, which would have been great. But fortunately, these walls have already been painted and we're going the exact same color. So my line doesn't have to be perfect. If I'm an 1/8 of an inch away, the cut line will look fine. Previous painter has already drawn the line on these walls. All I want to do is make sure it looks uniform, so the brush strokes blend in with the roller strokes. So I'm putting lots of paint on, getting a nice fat cut line. It'll be easy to roll into, and you'll never know that last 1/8 of the inch hasn't been brushed.
Well, what we're doing here, me and Lance, we're hooking up the furnace. So what we gotta do is bring power to the furnace and jump the power out for the air cleaner. So when you turn the power off to the furnace, you'll be turning off power to the air cleaner as well. It's a safety thing. If for some reason the panel's locked or something like that, you can't turn off the breaker. Just hit the switch and kills power to everything here.
Okay, Joe, you're good?
I'm good.
Okay. This is the new system with the new loop that we installed for the air handler. We've added additional shut-off valves for future maintenance that would allow us to drain the boiler if it needs to be serviced, isolate the loop as well as the rest of the system if any work needs to be done. So it's sort of a bulletproof system. One last thing that needs to be done is a gas needs to be hooked up, as well as the electrical, and then it's just a matter of testing it, and it will be all done.
So we're checking for cubic feet per minute. What did Steve say we're looking for?
He's saying anywhere between 50 and 45 for these are good. What you're gonna notice with this is you'll have a little bit less air volume, but you'll have higher temperatures. So it won't be like your standard forced air furnace where it's gonna come out a lot of air at a lower temperature.
Right, because standard forced air is going to be 280.
Yep.
And yet we're looking for 50.
Yep.
And the system is way quieter.
Quieter. You don't even hear it.
100 degrees.
100 degrees. Actually, and rising.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now this is a different zone.
Yep.
Considering this is not the farthest run, but because they're separately zoned, that means independent ductwork per area is going to really help keep that proper CFM flow. So we're on the second floor above the furnace, and we have matched the first floor.
Yep.
Happy days.
Trick or treat.
Welcome to my home.
Wow. It's
Did you notice something a little different in here?
Smells like fresh paint.
it's warm. That was the
actually
first
warm.
thing.
I mean, coming in, we did the old, what I call, wrap completely. We protected your house, the drywall on the floor, plastic underneath the drywall over and over again. No matter how much we protected, we're still gonna make a mess. And a mess we made. This was opened up and then continued to open up, continued to open up.
We found cracks in the pipes, holes, kinked lines. The house was a great build. One simple problem, one massive repair.
The heat. Now I can hear it.
I can hear it.
What we're hearing more than anything is the furnace room underneath, and it's
Right.
actually coming through the air return because it's
Okay.
so close to the furnace.
Nothing like the sound of the last one.
No. By increasing each and every boot size where the register comes out of the floor to a regular 3x10 or a 4x10 helps displace that airflow. At the end of it, we did our tests, and our tests showed that we were getting exactly what was supposed to come out of each register. We actually got 54 to 56 CFMs.
At each outlet.
Each outlet.
Wow.
With about 100 to 104 degree temperature coming out, which is the total difference between a forced air unit and this unit. We're actually lower CFMs, higher than the ones you had before, lower CFMs with a higher temperature.
I had to bring in electricians, plumbers, to install an incredible system, not to mention move lines, move lights. I had to bring in painters, movers.
When that ductwork's up, I'm sure the first thoughts through your head was, oh my God, you're
Big
killing me.
silver massive
It was massive, wasn't
Yes.
it? And even in the other room where I built the bulkhead over top and then dropped that bulkhead vertically down, it doesn't look bad. It actually goes. We're gonna have bulkheads when it comes to ductwork, period.
Drywall, tapers, mud, gas line, you name it, everyone I know was in on this job. So from a heating job to a massive, massive fix. This was exactly what I expected, an absolute massive job. It was not small in any which way or form. And the first quotes that you got was around $90,000 per, correct? And that was 2 other quotes.
Yes.
We've done more than $100,000 worth of work in here.
Well, look what was involved to fix it properly. And I think that people knew that. The people involved, the skilled people, the professionals, they knew. That means opening every wall, like Mike said, opening ceilings, ripping out drywall, coordinating 40 people to come in, and who wanted to pay for that? Nobody.
In the garage, I brought in Alex, who spray foamed in what I call a thermal break. Did that whole ceiling zone after all our new pipes are installed and kept that all underneath. We fixed structure once I opened up a wall and saw point loads that were missing.
If we had to coordinate all these people ourselves and try and get a plumber in here to come in, work till 11 o'clock at night and try to get HVAC team to work all weekend, and we wouldn't have been able to do it. How would we even coordinate? How do you even begin to coordinate something like that?
How do you find the kind of people that are willing to do that kind of stuff? You've got to find somebody that's really proud of what they do and they want to make it right.
Yeah.
You can't see that on somebody's face. You've got to actually experience it, and it's just awe-inspiring to see what these guys have done. Every last one of them has just stepped up. I mean, I'm stuck for words.
Lowered the ceiling in this bathroom, same as the one upstairs. We did have to remove your exhaust fan.
There's heat coming out
Yeah.
the outlet.
But to be honest with you, your exhaust fan didn't work anyway, so...
It wasn't working in here?
God, no.
If the engineers had designed the house properly, if the municipality had, done their inspections properly, if the guys that put the stuff in had done it properly, we wouldn't have been here today.
We had to lower the ceiling in your office. And believe me, I did not want to do it. I'm a big vaulted ceiling fan. I love it. But looking at this, re-coordinating your lights, your registers, a proper supply to or entry to your shut-off tap, your gas lines, which by the way, we fixed your gas lines. We fixed electrical in this house. We fixed plumbing in this house. We fixed structure in this house. I think we fixed everything in this house. We do have the bulkhead in your room here. And in a way, it works for me. The ceiling height is still well over 7 feet. We've kept your height in here that we're lucky to get.
And homeowners, when you live in this, you live it. You breathe it, you eat it, you sleep it. And it consumes you. And you try not to. You try to keep it in perspective. But when you're in your house and you're not comfortable and you question the air you're breathing and it's freezing or it's too hot or it's too cold, or you can't ever get away from it.
This is your 3 zoning system, okay? Every single line is insulated, taped, wrapped, airtight. This actually runs on low. It doesn't go directly to high. Only if it requires it. It's got its own little brain in that frickin' thing right there that says, all right, I'm gonna turn it up because we need more demand. But even on high, you didn't hear it.
No,
right?
that was high?
Yeah.
Wow.
You have a HEPA filter system on top of a filter system. It is important to us to make sure that all the air you breathe in your home is clean air.
So the wall-hung boiler feeds the air handler? Or does it go into here first?
It diverts it. So we split, half goes to the air handler, the other half goes to the domestic. So we separate that water and they never touch each other, which is great. We don't want that when it comes to domestic. Supply tank allows the supply of more water with a pump system to circulate it to keep it at that temperature to be more efficient and fire it through the house when you need it.
Everybody Mike Holmes touches has changed in some way. And between him and the team that are around him, he's inspired us to keep on fighting, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think there's a message inside Mike Holmes that everybody ought to hear.
Oh, this humidifier here, state of the art.
This humidifier.
State of the art. All set, everything's calculated. Yes, you have your summer, your winter dial right there. Okay, so that one you don't even have to read
I can figure that one out.
Okay.
This is the best you can have. All the draining system that ties on the floor. And
look at this.
We even got you, as far as I'm concerned, the best air conditioning unit on the market. It is outside, it is big, it is beautiful, and it will give you everything you need.
It's just incredible. Just incredible. Yeah, we get our life back, basically. That's the message. And unfortunately, you guys you can't help everybody. So it's up to us to send messages to let the rest of the world, he's getting all choked up, see?
I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike.
It's a pleasure
I don't know
meeting you.
how we're going to thank you, but
You need anything, call me. Other than that, enjoy it. Let's get the furniture back in. And
Thank
you, my dear,
Thank you very much.
you keep
Appreciate it.
smiling.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's true, right?
yeah.
That's all. You can send the message and hope that people learn from what you've done, learn from your nightmare.
It's a shame that so many more people will have to go through what we've been through, but it won't be forever. Someday it'll get fixed.
Whatever, yeah, the system will get fixed.
One day.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have said that a month ago.
No.
Before you came, we wouldn't have believed it.
No. Thank you, guys. What's against that wall over there? TV goes on top of the fireplace mantle, which no longer exists. Who's qualified? Master bedroom, please. That's the cat's scratchy chair. That's why it's all trashed.